They called me selfish while I was bleeding on a hospital bed. That was the moment I realized blood doesn't make you family, actions do. The nurse had just told me I'd be going into emergency surgery. My twins, barely 3 years old, were home, giggling in their pajamas, waiting for their grandparents to arrive. My parents had promised to take care of them if anything ever happened. They'd repeated it so many times over the years that I believed it like a prayer. So I called. My voice was trembling, half from the morphine, half from fear. "Mom, I'm being prepped for surgery. Can you and Dad come stay with the kids tonight?" A pause. Then her voice, flat, irritated. "Oh, sweetheart, tonight? That's not possible. We have Elton John tickets with your sister. You should have told us earlier." I remember staring at the hospital ceiling, trying to process it. "I didn't plan to have my appendix rupture," I said quietly. Dad chimed in, tone clipped. "You always have some crisis, Emily. Maybe ask one of your friends. We're not canceling plans again." Then came the line that burned itself into me forever. "You can be such a burden sometimes." The call ended. I don't even remember hanging up. Just the beeping monitor, the nurse's eyes soft with pity, and a silence so heavy it felt physical. They always said family sticks together. But I'd been the glue for years, paying their bills when Dad's retirement fund didn't stretch, covering my sister's credit card debt, even paying for those Elton John tickets last Christmas. That irony didn't hit me until later. I'd always excused their selfishness as exhaustion, old age, misunderstanding. But that night, as they danced and sang while I lay unconscious on an operating table, the truth settled in like poison. They never cared. They just cared about what I provided. The next morning, I woke up to an empty room. My phone had one new message, from my sister. "Hope you're okay. The concert was amazing. You should have seen Dad singing." No mention of the twins. Not even a question. Something in me shifted that moment. A quiet click, like a lock sliding into place. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I simply decided. From my hospital bed, I opened my laptop. Pain pulsed through every movement, but clarity carried me. I found a local nanny service, premium, 24-hour vetted caregivers. Within 30 minutes, a woman named Nora arrived at my home, greeted my sleepy twins, and sent me a photo of them eating cereal at the kitchen table. Safe, calm, loved. I smiled for the first time in 24 hours. Then I called my bank. First, I stopped the automatic transfer to my parents' account, then my sister's. Next, I revoked their access to the family credit card I'd given them for emergencies. By the time the anesthesia fully wore off, my family was financially cut off. No announcement, no warning, just silence. It was the purest form of revenge. Clean, quiet, irreversible. 2 weeks later, they showed up. I was at home, sitting on the porch with Nora and the twins. The kids were drawing with chalk on the steps. I saw my parents' car pull into the driveway, the same car I'd helped them buy last year. Mom stepped out first, carrying a basket of fruit like it was a peace offering. Dad followed, eyes already scanning the house like an auditor. "Emily," Mom called, smiling too wide. "We came to see how you're feeling." I just looked at her, calm, distant. "You found time?" Her smile faltered. "Oh, come on, don't be dramatic. We couldn't miss the concert, but we were worried sick." Dad cleared his throat. "We noticed the transfers stopped. Was that intentional?" There it was, the truth. Not even 5 minutes in. I stood up. "Yes." Mom blinked, confused. "What do you mean, yes? You can't just—" "I can," I interrupted, and I did. "You called me a burden while I was being wheeled into surgery. You chose a concert over your grandkids. You've made it very clear where I stand in your life." Mom's voice cracked. "We didn't mean it like that." "I know exactly how you meant it." Dad took a step forward. "Don't make this about money, Emily. Family is more important than—" "Family?" I laughed softly. "Family shows up. Family doesn't need a reminder. You showed me exactly who you are, and now I'm showing you who I've become." The twins ran up then, chalk dust on their hands. "Grandma!" one shouted. Mom's eyes softened. She knelt, reaching out, but I gently blocked her with my arm. "No," I said quietly, "they don't need that kind of love." She froze. The rejection landed harder than any slap could. I turned, took my children inside, and closed the door behind me. That was 3 months ago. They've called, emailed, even tried sending gifts. I returned them all unopened. My life is quieter now, lighter, the kind of peace that doesn't need permission. Sometimes, when the twins are asleep, I think about that night, me on the hospital bed,